The ultimate all-in-one electric homebrewing system is here. The new Grainfather G40 can produce up to 11 gallons of beer and features all the latest advancements in homebrewing technology, including wireless control so you can monitor your brew day from the Grainfather app. With an innovative new grain basket design that improves workflow, reaching mash efficiencies of 75% or more is easy. The 3300-watt heating element brings your wort to a boil quickly without any scorching, and the large hot plate filter guarantees that no unwanted grain matter or hop chub reaches your fermenter. Every G40 comes standard with a high-powered built-in pump that can handle temperatures over 200 degrees Fahrenheit and a full 3-year warranty that guarantees you'll be able to keep on brewing no matter what. The Grainfather G40 is available now at your favorite homebrew retailer or online at grainfather.com. Today's show is brought to you by Imperial Yeast. You hear us gushing over Imperial Yeast all the time, and that's because their yeast performs for us in every batch that we brew. Imperial Yeast is adored by commercial breweries and home brewers alike. Their pitch-right pouches are jam-packed with over 200 billion fresh yeast cells, guaranteed to deliver flawless, fast fermentations every time. Imperial yeast strains are grown by a team of pro brewers and home brewers who live to help other brewers learn more and ferment better. Join any recipe receiving tier of our Trub Club and get a free upgrade to premium Imperial yeast with every recipe kit that ships out to you. Learn more at homebrewhappyhour.com/club and come brew with us.
Entertaining shows with content that spreads information and sparks discourse throughout the community. This is the Pearl Media Network.
Properly configuring PSI on a 3-keg kit, accidentally using hops at the wrong time, and transferring beer to combine 2 homebrew kegs. This is Homebrew Happy Hour, episode 284. Well, hello there, and welcome to another episode of the Homebrew Happy Hour. This is the show where we supply the answers to your homebrewing questions and discuss all things related to craft beer. If you have a question you would like us to discuss on a future episode, go to homebrewhappyhour.com. Click on that submit a question link at the top of the page, or now be Todd's best friend and call it in to a voicemail at 325-305-6107. I'm your host, Joshua Stubing. Today, I am joined by the Director of Operations over my shoulder right there of cmbecker.com, Mr. James Carlson, and the technology is hard. You keep going in and out of the feed during the whole, all the ad bumpers. The President and Chief Keg Washer of KegConnection.com, Mr. Todd Burns. Todd, is everything okay over there?
Yeah, I don't know why it keeps cutting off. On that first commercial, did you say grain matter or brain matter? I was having a hard time hearing it.
I pre-recorded it. I don't know what I said. I was okay. And I was drinking.
I hope we're not brewing with brain matter now. That would be disgusting.
That would not be FDA approved.
That's why I kind of went like this, because I thought I heard that.
I thought you went.
Oh, I bet he meant grain matter.
I think it said grain matter. I imagine talking about grain father stuff. I imagine it was grain matter.
Okay, good.
You're a new recipient of Starlink. Is that what's going on over there, or is it your computer issues? What?
No, yeah, I haven't used this in a long time, and I was trying to get the. I moved my power cord from one device to the other, and when I did that, it cut it off again. I don't really know why. I'll try not to touch anything.
Yeah, well, I
do have to plug this in.
There is a common denominator in the issues you have when you're podcasting from the office or when you're podcasting from your home office, and that is you.
You mean you screwing with my stuff?
Me? No. We had our weekly meeting with our German counterpart yesterday, and as soon as I got on, I realized I didn't plug his stuff back in. Oh no. And his camera, thank God, he got that plugged in fairly quick. He didn't know his headphones weren't in. And Stefan, our buddy from CMB, Schankenlagen, and I were the first ones on the call, and Todd's like, and we, mouthing, and we can't, we can kind of hear him, but he can't hear us. And I go, oh no, Stefan, he's about to curse at me because I totally forgot to plug everything back in. And the second Todd knew we could hear him and he could hear us, somebody didn't plug my stuff back in. I Oh, no, okay. That was me.
It is a common denominator. I will agree.
It was me. It was nice recording from your office. I like it. You had the comfortable sandals. Now, here's something I still don't get. I took. Yeah, James is when we finished recording. I go, James, did you know he left these in here? They are very comfy.
I asked you not to touch my titties.
And I did. I did. You were out of town. There was nothing you could do about it. And I drank your booze. You should go out of town more often, man. It was.
I know. I mean,
fun.
the one rule I have on the whole place is no glass at the pool. And the guy, the entire time I'm gone, he's sending photographs of bottles at the pool, bottles of whiskey at the pool.
I was
because
safe.
we all know that nobody ever makes mistakes when they're drinking bottles of whiskey.
I leave my mistake making for the office. Okay, I don't do that. I don't make mistakes. You're right. I sent this photo, James, thinking like, oh, he's gonna say, oh, glad you're having a good time, and all he replies is like, what the hell are you doing with glass on the edge of my pool for your stupid photos? I was like, oh,
God, so annoying.
Sorry, Todd. I had to text him. You're breaking up. Bad cell reception in Costa Rica, I think. Before we get to the show and the questions, and we actually have listener feedback this week as well, I do have some small talk. Todd, you're back. How has that been? We kind of caught up
terrible.
with you. Yeah,
terrible.
You didn't.
Yeah, I mean, Monday morning, I looked out my office door and screamed at everybody in the office. How could I not have a pina colada by now? It's 11:30 in the morning. It's almost noon.
Why aren't we day drinking here? And then James, you brewed 2 Fridays in a row. I took a keg. Pardon me. No, it's been more than
I've
more than in a row
this month.
You brewed twice so far. That's what I mean. But you already kegged your the pills. It's delicious, by the way. I have a keg of it. And then you got a little hair under. Actually, I don't know the saying. I was going to unpurposefully butcher a saying. You got motivated to brew, and then you're like, you know what? We have a crap ton, like the metric unit crap ton of white wheat malt, and you decided to make. And I'm going to believe a wheat lager.
Yeah, wheat lager. So I did half Pilsen malt, half wheat malt. And just a single hop addition and some. I just pitched it over the lager yeast from the kegs that we kegged the other day, and it went down. It's finished. It's cold crashing today.
I mean, I took a sip of it, and I've got mine is over there. In fact, I'll go get a little sample and show it to you. I'm amazed how much it's cleared up in the last couple of days. Yeah, it was not clear at all 3 days ago.
And you're talking about your red, right?
Yeah, the red.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
And then what else? The Belgium. God, the Belgium is so good. Now, I guess I kicked off. I finished off the first keg of it and put the new keg on, and it had a little stuff on the bottom. I got to pour a little beer first. But God, that Belgium's good. And that ESB is really good too. They both have done really well with a little age. So
I'm excited for the ESB. The Belgian, I'll believe.
No, you tried it and you said you really liked it.
I said I didn't hate it. I think I said I did.
It's so good. I can't believe how good it
James,
is.
Did you ever try it? Did you ever try the Belgian?
No.
You would like it, James.
Yeah,
it's very good.
yeah. Let me get this double IPA for you while I'm at it too, James. You're gonna love it.
I'm gonna get a little sample.
Yeah, go ahead, Todd.
While y'all are blabbering about.
Todd, go get your delicious Belgian.
So I did a 15 pounds of Pilsen, 15 pounds of white wheat, and I did 5 ounces of tradition hops. Normal mash. Did a mash out this time, and just when we kegged that beer, I left that in the what was left in the bottom of the fermenter. Just left it for the next day. So when I got done brewing, I just rolled it over and pumped it right into the fermenter. And when I got to work, it was it was diacetyl time Monday.
Are you serious? It was that quick?
Yeah, it was at 10:20 Monday.
Goodness.
So I did room temp, and it cooked off, and I sealed it up, put the splending valve on the conical, and it's already carbonated too.
That's so. I love it. So, are we giving credit to the yeast? Is that how it was able to finish so quick?
I think we had bigger numbers. We had new, healthy, a higher cell count, and And I cooled it down. Which was shocking because it's been, I don't know if guys have followed Texas weather, but it's 100-degree weather
all week.
That looks so good.
Oh, to hold it up again, Todd. I didn't. I had James up on the screen. There it is.
Oh yeah, huh? It's starting to clear up. Another week, and I think it'll be crystal clear. And it is a little red. I didn't think it was red enough at first, but
it's hard to tell with your lighting. Yeah, with the rules of accreditation that the Todd Byrne rule book of accreditation. That's my beer too. I hope you know that.
So good.
I helped out with that beer, James. I don't know if you know that. When I was there.
Oh, really? Cool.
Well, I'll explain. When I was at the barn, he said, take a reading, and if it's 10-10, cold crash it because I don't want it to drop much lower. And but when I remembered to take the reading, it was right at 10:09, but it was like 10:10, like between 10:09 10:10, and I cold conditioned it. And unfortunately, I didn't account for the temperature difference when I was doing I didn't use a calculator app to do the correction. So for the real or closer approximation of the gravity. And so what
was it, a dryer?
Yeah. It's actually like 10:07, right, Todd?
07. It tastes so good. I can't believe how good it is. Wow.
I am looking forward to that one because I tried.
And it's okay to drink in the middle of the day if you're doing it because of a podcast.
Oh, it's a beer show.
Right.
Most people
definitely.
Most people I've ever had on as a guest, they are enjoying themselves with the beer, and they always, why don't y'all drink more? I was like, because I'm on the clock. Technically, I work for Todd after the show too, and
I think they're right. I think I'm going to have another one with beer.
Yeah, you're the boss.
Yeah, you should have
carbonated?
Next.
Is it carb?
Uh-huh.
Oh, see,
Cool.
And that's something I didn't do. You must have turned the gas on when you got home.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm carbonate. Yeah, and it's fairly carbonated. It's not quite carbonated enough, but it needs a little more time to clear. So I think it'll be ready in in a week it'll be crystal clear.
So James, for clarification too, because Todd keeps interrupting, with your white wheat, let's just to be clear, it's not a wheat lager because it's not in the Hefeweizen sense where you're not using a wheat type of yeast to where it's going to get the banana and cloves. It's really mouthfeel and body that the white wheat is affecting, right?
Yep. I'm using just my standard dry lager yeast.
Yeah, the
3478.
3478. Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we need to get if you give me a 3-week heads up, I'll get Imperial to just start sending you Harvest by the gallon.
I've missed not being able to use Harvest. I found a couple packs upstairs, but they were 4 months out of date. So
and that's the problem too, is you don't want to 4 months out. You don't want to risk. I mean, you could do a starter, and if it's not viable, I guess do the dry then, or just sprinkle the dry.
Yeah, I would need and the thing about a lager that's super duper important is have the correct cell count.
Oh
pitching.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have enough, then you have lag time that can create issues, and you want that good clean taste.
Yeah, you'll ruin a whole beautiful batch by under pitching, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
So all right. So we got brew days. Talked about. I was in Frederick.
I want to say this real quick. You guys out there haven't seen Top Gun Maverick. You need to go see it. One of the best movies I've ever seen.
Ever.
It was freaking awesome.
Yes. Ever.
Yep.
Wait, Todd, that's the same beer? Oh, he can't hear me. He doesn't have his head. That's that's not the same beer, is it?
Belgium.
Oh, okay. The Belgian looks more like a red with your camera lighting. The red does.
ESB.
That looks great.
That's gorgeous.
That is gorgeous. Yeah, this
is clear, but I changed kegs, and I think it's settled a little bit, which means when I get about 3 more beers into it, it'll be crystal clear. Because that's what you want it to do. Right, you want it to all fall to the bottom and
hold the ESB back up, please, to the camera. Oh my gosh!
Yeah, that looked good.
Beautiful.
And the last time you did an ESB was on the Cooler Brew, isn't it? Isn't that the last time you brewed an ESB?
I don't remember. Maybe.
And that was one of my favorite beers ever. The one you and James did for our very popular brew day on the Cooler Brew video.
It is phenomenal. Well, James, you got a keg of this.
Yeah, I've already drank
it a while back.
Yeah. That's gone.
I want a keg of the ESB, son of a gun. That looks fantastic.
Start brewing 15-gallon batches and trade with us.
That's a good point. Did you use Lorena's favorite Fuddles for that ESB, or did you use Kent?
Oh shoot! I think I used East
Kent Goldings, or is that okay?
I have all the specs over there, but I didn't. Next time you're here, you got to get my TV working again so I can change the menu.
Oh, I didn't. I did not fix it while I was up there. You asked me to, and that was one thing I didn't do. My bad. So anyway, yeah. So we have beer, brew days, all that fun stuff. Oh, before again we get to the questions, we do the winner of the thermometer. I already shipped it when I was out there, but I totally forgot to announce it last week with James because we didn't do the June recipe or the June giveaway. So I totally forgot to announce the May winner. But our buddy Michael W., he actually said he doesn't mind me saying his name. Michael Wilmore, congrats on winning the May giveaway of the cool Lab Kessler thermometer, the glass calibrated thermometer. Todd's favorite.
My favorite.
His absolute favorite. And
yes.
Which brings me to, for the month of June, let me see if I can get on the screen. We're back to a $50 gift card giveaway. We have had so many people tell me that they just prefer a gift card on the giveaway that I said, okay, for June, we can do that because that makes it easy on everybody when we do gift cards. So the $50 gift card giveaway that we're doing to people in our Trub Club. And then the June recipe, the delicious, speaking of Lorena Evans, Bob Toots Cream Ale shipping out with the flagship strain from our buddies at Imperial Yeast. That I did the artwork on that, and as I'm looking at it full screen, that's one of them. I'm sorry, Lorena, if this is underwhelming artwork. I think we were in a rush when we did it as a commercial recipe that we were selling. Because now the more I look at it, I want to redo it. A phenomenal recipe like this deserves better artwork, and I'm sorry for that, Lorena, because it's such a straightforward, good summer ale that I know. Yeah, we've brewed it a couple times now, I think. And real fan favorite too, right? It's in line with a Kolsch or a blonde for me if I'm introducing people to straightforward ales or craft beer. A cream ale, just so subtle and not a whole lot going on, which is all I ever want from my beer. It's just balanced. And I think she did a killer job. And it's an homage to her pop too, who drank cream ales as she grew up. So it's a fun recipe. If you want to learn more and brew with us, you can go to patreon.com/homebrew happy hour. Join one of our recipe receiving tiers, and I'll reach out to you, get all your info so we can get you set up. We always still offer L grain and extracts only at the 5-gallon level, though. If you're trying to get 10-gallon, 15-gallon recipes, we only offer those in all grain. And then your mills, you can pick how your grains, you can pick how they're milled. And then, like I said, everyone gets an upgrade in their yeast for Imperial. And we greatly appreciate Imperial for being partners with us and our Trub Club. I think that is all.
I'd like to make 2 corrections in your last line of statements.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. Number 1, when Josh says, a lot of people reached out to me and told me that $50 gift certificates is what they prefer, that means he was too lazy to find something to give away.
No!
And he decided to do a $50.
That's not true!
Number 2,
hold on, let me pull up these emails.
Bob Toots Cream Ale, that is not the story at all.
I thought that was the beer. Then tell me the story.
Okay. So Lorena said that.
First off, it's Lorena.
Her dad was making. Huh?
It's Lorena, not Lorena. First off.
That's what I just said. So her dad was making fun of her craft beer, and she brewed this beer, and she gave him a glass, and he said, "Wow, that's actually not bad," because he basically drank nothing but American ales.
See, when I thought she made the recipe to mimic
American lager,
but I thought she made the recipe to mimic the. Not Olympia. What was the beer she said he did drink and that he preferred his go-to? That's how in my mind, that's how I remember the story, is that she tried to make a beer to mimic the American light lagers.
You're probably right. We could bet $5 on it.
I don't want to bet $5 with you. I'll bet you $5 I'm going to drink all your ESB next time I'm up there. I'll do that $5 bet. This is a great time for me to segue. We've got listener feedback, which means it's time for listener feedback. Anytime Marty from Omaha sends in a voicemail, there's a really good chance I'm going to play it. So let's get some feedback and some very good, helpful tips, my friends, on forced carbonation from our buddy Marty from Omaha.
Hey, Josh, this is Marty from Omaha. I was sitting around the other day drinking a Mountain Dew and Jack Daniels, living the life, And I was thinking about carbonation because you guys were talking about it, and I was thinking about the surface area of your beer in your keg. And when the keg is upright, and I want to kind of prove this with math. So when the keg is upright, the corny keg's like 9 inches. I did some rough calculations, just used 9 inches for the width or diameter of a corny keg and 20 inches for height, just to make the calculation simple. And using that, I calculated the volume of headspace if I had 2 inches of headspace, and the surface area of the beer. And then I thought, well, what if you lay the keg on its side? Does that increase the surface area of the beer? And if you calculate the surface area pi r squared on 9, I had something like 80 some inches of square inches of area. Well, if you lay it on its side, it changes, and it was tough to find a calculation for this, but it increases your surface area to 113 square inches. I know this is absolutely fascinating to you. So if somebody doesn't want to do a lot of shaking, they just want to gas up to force carb their beer, lay it on its side, you'll get more surface, get more contact with that CO2, and the carbonating should occur faster if it was stagnant. So there you are. It's your hot tip for the day. Love your show. Love you guys. Bye.
Marty, we love you. I think his trick right now is to call in so much until he's able to afford a Todd Herm system. I think I'm on to him. And Todd, you're breaking equipment too over there. You're getting so worked up about forced carbonation. You have to just hold it. Like a stand-up. You just hold the mic. There you go.
But I always start singing when I hold it like this, Josh. That's the problem.
You went right into the pose. So you always, Todd, I mean, I'd never done the math and never even bothered to look it up. Yes, you're right, Marty, riveting stuff. But I've always done it on my knee, rocking it that way too. Is the reason you did that for the convenience of the rocking, Todd, or because you knew the surface area?
He's talking about stagnant. He's talking about
total
if you just
stagnant.
laid it on its side stagnant. But I mean, the issue a lot of people would run into with that is most people wouldn't have the room to do that in their Keezer unless they just had one. I mean, I don't know how you would do that. I mean, you'd have to have the room. I don't really think that Marty does that. I think Marty just wanted to do the math.
Yeah, and name drop Jack and Mountain Dew, which we still have not done.
I always do it on its side because it's easier to lay on its side in my lap and rock it back and forth. But Marty, I can assure you that no math was ever involved in that decision.
And I laugh anytime math is brought up because Todd, who's the person who is the worst at math that you know in your life?
It's maybe a tie between you and Mark Borski.
Borski's bad at math too?
Oh, it's terrible.
Really?
I'm not good at it either.
Yeah, but you don't. Yeah. But James, you don't confidently run your mouth with math like I do. And Todd's like, yeah. Say that again. What you just said? Oh yeah. James knows his limitations on things. I am so confidently wrong on tons of things, and especially math. Todd loves calling, I like calling Todd out on grammar and spelling issues. He loves calling me out on math issues. The only math I'm good at is at a fast food restaurant, and I give them, it's $14.40, and I give them a 20, and I turn to my kids, I go, that's going to be $5.60 and change, and they're like, oh, Dad's great at math.
Yeah. No, you really want to blow their mind? Give them a 20 and 40 cents.
Oh, you're right. If they didn't have the computer in front of them, right? Yeah, I have it. Unfortunately, the McDonald's in Lampasas. This was many years ago because I don't stop there as much. They have a Whataburger now in town. That happened one time where it was like $8.25, and I gave them $20.25. And why are you shaking your head? No.
I just can't believe anybody would go to McDonald's in Lampasas when they have Storms.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Todd. I like Whataburger better than Storms.
Oh God! Okay, really? I will not go to Whataburger anymore.
Why? Because they're so slow.
The service is so
they're
slow.
So slow. That's a staple of their. That's how you know it's good, or something. I don't know.
We need an In-N-Out. around.
I prefer In and Out.
Yeah.
I have an In and Out here in town. If I'm getting burgers in San Marcos, that's where I'm going. But anyways,
you would rather have a Whataburger than a mini cordon bleu at Storms. Wow.
I don't like the cordon bleu.
I don't understand that.
I don't like the cordon bleu.
Oh,
we can fight
to
over
each his own.
To each his own. Marty, thank you for submitting that. Again, like with questions, voicemails, if you send them in for our feedback, we do give you a $25 gift card to kegconnection.com. Speaking of voicemails for questions, bringing us our first question of the week is our buddy Chris from Michigan.
Hey guys, this is Chris from Michigan. Really enjoy your show. I've learned a lot over the last year and a half since I found your podcast. I do have a quick teaser question for you guys. I just finished up a teaser of my own, watching your guys' video quite a bit to get a lot of information and knowledge. I do have a quick question in regards to pressure. I have a one tap-right regulator to regulate the PSI that then feeds into a three-way distributor with check valves. What should the proper PSI be if you want to have about a 10 to 12 PSI pressure amongst all three of your beers with only one type of regulator? Any information and knowledge and background would be truly appreciative. Keep up the great work, guys. Thanks.
Chris, thank you so much for calling in. This is, we get this question through email a bunch. And there's this, I think, maybe a misconception because of the complications that sometimes happens when you start throwing secondaries down the line or inline regulators. But Todd, this is very straightforward, right? Like it is a 1-for-1.
I mean, what you said, you mentioned this question before the show. And when he just asked a question, I didn't get what you got out of it all. It sounds to me like he's asking if the only choice you have is one pressure, what pressure should you use? Not, do you getting different pressures on different ports?
No, yeah, because he's saying what should the proper PSI be if you want to have 10 to 12 amongst all three of your beers with only one type of regulator. No,
10 to 12.
Right, exactly, and that's what I was going to say. That they're to demystify it, because again, we do get this question a bunch. It is what you set it at on a primary regulator. Going to is there a limit, James? Like could I say an infinite number of ports? No.
Secondary regulator.
No,
you mean air distributor, right?
Correct. From one primary regulator, what does he need to set it at if he has 3 lines or off of air distributor with check valves and he wants it to be at 10 psi? What does he need to set it at the regulator for all 3 of those ports from the manifold to be at 10 psi? And the answer is 10 psi.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. I'm saying though is there a limitation? Before I run my mouth and I'm wrong and someone writes in, I'll just say an infinite number of ports. If I set my primary regulator to 10 and then I run it to a 50-way manifold, are all 50 still going to be at 10? I think they are, but I don't know. That's why I'm asking you.
Yeah.
They should be.
Yeah, they would.
Pressures.
I mean, we should have Marty do the math on it, though.
That's good. Get another. We'll give you a $4 gift card for that one, Marty.
Yeah, Marty. Yeah. If you can. No, I think. I think at some point you're gonna be starving some of those kegs. I mean, if they were all perfectly carbonated to 10 psi, and they already had 10 psi in them, and they all had 10 psi in them, then really all you're doing is serving with it. So I don't think it would make any difference at all, because unless you tried to serve all 50 at once, and then you just run out of pressure.
Right. Or freeze the regulator up.
I was thinking that too. But yeah, for most home brewers, like in their wildest dreams, they may be running one regulator for 10 at the tops, right? Or 6 is more realistic. I just want to be confident in saying that if you're running a regulator to an air distributor that has however many outputs off of it, what you set it at is what your kegs are receiving.
Pressure's pressure. So
pressure's pressure, exactly. And I think lately, in the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I've been getting variations of this question more. I think because of the answer we gave when talking about introducing secondaries on a few episodes ago, where it was the primary needs to be the higher of the PSI in order for the secondary to run okay. Remember that one, Todd? That question where?
Well, yeah. I mean, you if you're feeding secondary regulators, you have to. normally you put them at a higher pressure because of a couple of things. One, they just, you're feeding more than one regulator, so you would have to at the very least put one at the highest pressure you want to run on the secondary. But there's really no reason to limit it to that because it'll go much higher than that. So we usually put them at 40, 45 so that you've got plenty of volume, plenty of pressure, and you can kind of put them wherever you want. Also, I think the second part of it is that the diaphragm itself, I think the diaphragm regulator probably works a little better if it's supplying the other regulators if you get it at a higher pressure.
Right. Exactly. I drew this question out, and now I know I'm going to confuse people but the answer to wrap it up, because again, it is a very straightforward question. If you want it at 10 to 12 PSI, Chris, set your regulator at 10 to 12 PSI, anywhere of those. And that's what your kegs are going to be receiving. That's the answer, right? Okay. Thank you so much. I wished I could drag that out more, but we have been getting it in my inbox, this kind of question so much. I wanted to take it on the show, and it was a voicemail, so it helped because we need voicemail still. And a reminder again, when you leave us a voicemail, we do give you a $25 gift card to kegconnection.com. All other questions through text or the submission form at Homebrew Happy Hour still get $15 gift cards. Pretty stinking good. So our buddy, question number 2 came from our buddy Darren, who did use the submission form at homebrewhappyhour.com. Darren wrote, "Hello, gents, longtime listener here. I love your dynamic as homebrewers and as friends. It's obvious that you all get along very well. I am new to homebrewing, but not so new that I shouldn't have known better. I accidentally used my flameout hops at 15 in the batch I brewed this morning. What can I expect to be different in this batch? I've never thought about it and have always just followed the brewer sheet. What do hops accomplish in the final 15 compared to flameout? Again, great job week to week. I look forward to the show. Cheers, Darren." Darren, you're wrong. We don't like each other at all. This is a strictly professional.
I don't know. Where did he get that idea?
Yeah, I know. You should see how I had a hidden camera one time in my hat to capture the abuse Todd gave me. He found it and he obliterated the camera. He squished it. The last memory of the film was just him going, "You think you're going to catch me?" No, we do get along just fine. This is how I've never thrown in the wrong hops or the hops at the wrong time, guys, but I've left out grains and stuff. And my impulse answer is to tell him, "Don't worry, relax, have a home brew." But he does bring a good question, James. What are we trying to go for at flame out versus the last 15 of a boil?
Well, the main hop is for bittering, and it takes quite a bit of time to do that isomerization. Hope I said that right. I probably butchered it. Because, the alpha acids in the hop will get converted into bittering units, but it takes a boil and it takes quite a while to do that. So you won't see that much on the end, but what can do is it can affect the flavor and the aroma. So, in my opinion, the later the hop addition, the less flavor, more aroma. And, so if you're doing a Whirlpool edition, you're wanting to get aroma out of it. And then 15 would give you a little more flavor.
Yeah. Oh, that's how I always understood it. I mean, that's why we dry hop too, right? Is for the sake of aroma, not for drastic flavor change, but for that kind of hot bomb on your nose at the top. Todd, are you still messing with that mic?
I totally agree with what James just said.
You didn't even have your headphones on. I cut to the group shot, and just when you put them on, James said.
No, I totally agree with what he said.
Oh, did you hear what he said?
Oh yeah.
I can't tell if you're being serious now or not. So with Darren's case, James, would you say does it depend on the style, or he's not going to probably notice that much difference at all, right?
You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Right.
A good thing to do next time you brew, if you want to brew that again, add the addition the way you wanted to originally and see if you can taste the difference.
That and a great excuse to brew another batch, right? Of the same thing.
Yeah.
I always wonder too. He didn't say, and I didn't reach back out to him when I made this the PDF for our show this week so last minute and gave it to y'all, I think as y'all were probably walking out of the office, because I know I looked at the clock and it was right at 5. But so y'all didn't get a chance to really look at the questions this week before we did the show. And I didn't reach out to them. But if let's say like one of your brews, right, or one of my brews on a Kolsch where it's not different hops, it's all the same, right? Like it was spalt at 60, spalt at 15, spalt at flame out or whatever. If it's the same hop, that's even probably better case scenario in regards to not noticing much of a difference. Am I right? I'm assuming that, or does it?
Well, bittering hops are a totally different creature than aroma and flavor, because all you're doing or you're concerned with is the alpha acid conversion. But typically, what you'll see most hops. Now, this is just my opinion. The higher the alpha acid, also the higher the oil in there, the fragrant oils that's in the hops. And that's what you would want on bittering and flavor on the end, because you're wanting a hop that can produce that bigger flavor and higher aroma than you would typically want with a bittering hop. Bittering hop is for bitterness. Aroma hops are for flavor and aroma, and they're used totally different ways.
So if Darren came on and said, I mean, we can assume that it's not a bittering hop at that late, probably.
No, it hasn't been in there long enough to do anything bittering wise.
Right. So I mean, I was just trying to make some baseline assumptions. Todd knows how much I love making assumptions.
No, but I mean, are you asking, is it could be a hop that people usually use for bittering, though. That's, I mean, like a single malt, like a smash beer would do that. So no, there's a lot of hops that are multi-purpose, I guess.
Sure, they're dual purpose hops, have enough oils to produce flavors on both sides. But with the kind of styles like the New England style IPA, you want something that's really in your face, and you'd want to go with those kind of bittering or aroma hops. And you can go online at any hop manufacturer or hop farm, and they'll give you those percentages and what they're used for.
Right. Yeah. And at the end of the day, Darren, don't worry about it. Right. Like you're probably, you're going to probably have a fantastic tasting beer. And if you want our opinion on it, 1800 EDC Parkway, Comanche, Texas, 76442. Attention, Joshua Stubing. We will absolutely grade the beer. I found my old comic book card collection because I saw on some article online the values went up, and I've got about 525 cards. And it turns out I have some very high valued cards, but you have to send them off to grading services, and the grading services charge you scalable based off the value of the card. So I was like, no, I'm okay. I'll just hold on to these. But it got me thinking, what if we do a grading service on people's homebrew, guys? We'll just have them send us beer, and then we'll write it back. Oh yeah, that was a 9 out of 10. And I mean, it's basically what we did with Kolsch Cup is sucker people into sending us beer and drinking my favorite style. But no, that got me thinking. Darren, I appreciate you sending that in. You're talking about the New England's also made me have this digression in my brain. So I went to Fredericksburg, and the first brewery, my wife, we drove past Altstadt, and beautiful campus, right? Their facility is stupid gorgeous. Their beer, guys, I don't want to throw them under the bus too much, but I don't think they're as German as they're trying to make us believe. The Reinheitsgebot doesn't allow for IPAs, right? But they have a German IPA on tap. I wasn't brave enough to try a German IPA, but I did. I did have they have an in-house German Pils, and I was like, maybe it'll be like James's. I know their German lager is not my favorite, so I had a German.
Why would it not allow for an IPA? I don't understand.
The you don't use noble hops in a maybe there's
no. I mean, the rule is you have to use 4 ingredients, and if you use those 4 ingredients and make an IPA, then it would be okay.
So okay. So you're right. So they're just using a crap ton of one of the noble hop.
No, it doesn't have to be. There's nothing in the law that says it has to be a noble hop.
Oh, I thought it
has
did
to have hops, water, yeast,
and
barley.
And barley. Oh, okay. So I misunderstood the Rhine. So there can be a German IPA within the Reinheitsgebot. Oh, I apologize.
But now, like our friend from Germany that turned into a home brewer, actually a commercial brewer, I don't know. Well, you weren't there. He was telling Todd and I that they had done a batch of IPA with wheat. I believe it was wheat and oats. And they were not allowed to sell it in a certain regions in Germany because of the purity
because of the
purity law. Yeah.
I do know too, when we have Horst on, he has strong opinions about that style, adverse opinions about IPAs. He's not, and I think with Germans trying to appropriate it. But Todd, are you fact checking us now that there can be an IPA? Oh,
I'm playing with my wrench.
Oh, it's just so, I think I digress. My brain, I space out. But anyway, what I was getting at with Fredericksburg though, James, Fredericksburg Brewing Company, best beer in town by far, bar none.
Yeah. Which one did you try them all?
I tried 3 beer. I had the red with my Reuben, which was a fantastic combination, and then I had their not so dumb blonde, which was really, really good. And then I had the honey cream ale, which was fantastic. They're brewing really good beer there. And Altstadt, it wasn't bad beer. I just don't get the hype. I'm not gonna say I'll never go back because their facility. What do you think that facility cost? Like $5 million?
Incredible. Yeah. You know, even Bauman, when we kind of my friend Bauman, when he got into Kolsch after we served him quite a bit of Kolsch, and then we ended up going to Cologne. He came up to me and he was like, "Yeah, I had a Kolsch at the." He's a big golfer at the golf club. At the golf club, was that what it's called? No,
yeah, they had golf. Yeah,
the golf club's what you hit it with, but you know what I mean. The lounge,
the golf course.
Yeah,
no, the lounge that everybody goes to.
The clubhouse. Yeah,
clubhouse. Oh, yeah. Thank you. And he said that. He was like, it just didn't taste at all like the other ones I've had, and that's what it was.
It was Altstadt's, right? Yeah, it's not a Kolsch, and their alt is not an alt. It's not bad, but it's just
you know what wasn't bad was their sticky alt when they had a sticky alt.
Yeah, I tried that there on their place, and I think the also too, my issue was they had a lady behind the bar. They were very understaffed, I'm assuming, because they had one lady working and you had to stand in this long line to order your beer. And I'm pretty sure she poured my sticky alt from the same one she poured someone else's just alt from. It's like that scene, I forget if it was How I Met Your Mother or something, where they're like, well, you just poured, I ordered decaf. You just gave him, no, I gave him decaf. This is the real stuff for you. And because I said they didn't have anything labeled on there. I was like, no, you just poured that guy's alt. I wanted the sticky alt. And she goes, oh, no, this is the sticky. And I drank it. I was like, no, that's not. Darn it. No, it's not. And my wife just drugged me out of there because I was about to make a scene on some severely underpaid waitress, I'm sure, or bartender. But anyway, if you're in Fredericksburg Brewing Company, friends, that's where I would go. And also, if you're a woman, wear a fedora and a sundress and you'll fit right in. It was great. But anyway, Darren, thanks for submitting the question. I've got a third question for us this week before you'll leave us a 1-star review. Was a text message from our buddy Alex at 325-305-6107. Alex wrote, "Can I transfer between corny kegs, or is it too risky? I have basically 2 half kegs of IPA, and I need one of those kegs for a blonde. Rather than bottle one of them, couldn't I combine? How would you do it? Thanks." I'd buy more kegs, man. And that reminds me, at kegconnection.com, there's a sale right now on corny kegs, used and new. The sky's the limit. Add them to your cart, buy them. Your wife will thank you. Your friends will thank you. You'll have more beer on tap. But no, if that's not the solution, Todd, have you ever done a closed transfer between 2 kegs? How would you do it? Oh,
yeah. It's a great, easy thing to do. And there's virtually no risk in it if you do it correctly. All you do is make sure that both kegs, if you've been serving beer out of them, both kegs basically have CO2. They don't have oxygen in them. And you just transfer the beer from one to the other. The way I like to do it is to do liquid to liquid. So you get 2 liquid disconnects, a short piece of hose, put gas on one of the kegs, open the vent on the other keg, and you transfer over. As you're transferring over, it's instead of building pressure, it's pushing CO2 out the top, and there's no way for oxygen to get in. So it's an extremely easy, safe way to transfer beer from one place to another. And I've done it on multiple occasions, primarily because I had a bad keg or something like that, and I wanted to put it in another keg.
And yours was more complicated in the sense of it was probably from a full keg to an empty keg. So you had to, purge the oxygen out of the empty keg and all that. What you're saying is, in this guy's case, liquid to liquid to assure that there will be no splashing, so that the liquid from one is drawing out and going to the bottom of the other keg, so you're filling bottom up. And so all he has to do from the keg he's transferring from is put the gas on that one and then open the vent on the other keg, and that will create the siphon.
It'll just push the beer.
I mean, that'll call okay, and then you'll know it's empty because it's a clear line on the liquid side, and you'll see that it's done.
You'll know it's empty when it goes.
Yeah. So closed transfer. I don't know if y'all remember. I know you're not on Reddit at all, Todd, and James, you haven't been on Reddit in a while. Do you remember that one? It was a craft brewer, but like a nano brewery, and he was transferring, like opening up a keg and pouring it into another keg. Do you remember that? It was actually for filtering is why he was doing it. And I only bring it up to tell people that is not the way to do it. You don't want to, even if you got like a funnel and that went to the bottom of the thing, open transfer just is cause for too much concern, right? With this, what we're talking about, taking beer from one.
Unless you get a small room and completely fill it with CO2. I'm joking. You'll die.
I was like, oh, how would you do that?
I was about to fact check you. I was going to go,
No, it would technically work if you could hold your breath long enough.
When they find your dead body and they go, okay, there's no oxidation. We're good. We're good.
No oxidation. This guy knew what he was doing.
This guy knew what he was doing. I threw the question to you, Todd, because you're the king of closed transfers, and just because you're not, like, when we did one from your secondary, a glass carboy, and you use one of those orange carboy caps, and you just fearlessly hook your gas up to it, and I think you only do like 2 or 3 psi, but
very low.
Terrifies me still, and you're just like, no, man, it's gonna work because it always works.
To be fair, my dad, the chemical engineer, looked a little nervous when he saw me doing it too.
Yeah, okay. I'm glad that someone that you respect with brains.
My dad was going, oh.
You're doing what with that? Yeah, but with these
then he was okay when he saw it was only 2 or 3 psi. He was like, I wouldn't go a lot higher than that.
Yeah, and which I'm segueing to what kind of pressure? I mean, these are 2 stainless steel corny kegs. There's nothing to really worry about. But what's the minimum pressure you think you're going to need to push it out? 3 or to 5? You're not going to need much, right?
Use whatever pressure you want. I would use more and get it done.
Okay.
Get her done
for speed.
Get her done.
Get her done. I like that. James, do you have anything more? I've seen you transfer for filtering, but that's about it, right?
Yeah, it'd be the same thing that we did on the video, but without the filter. You just put, like Todd said, 2 liquid disconnects and a piece of hose, and then hook the transferring keg up with gas, and then open. You'd need to vent the accepting keg, but like I would suggest, purging the keg that you're trying to transfer into with CO2 from the liquid side, so you don't get any oxidation. But yeah, it's pretty simple.
Yeah, it is pretty straightforward, and keg to keg is one of the safer safer transfers period you can do and not have to worry too much about it. Especially, let me rephrase that. 2 kegs that have been serving beer out of them, which have a blanket of CO2 already and all that. This is like best case scenario for not messing it up, right?
Yeah, it's very, when we use the fermenter that I just went and got the sample out of, we use pressure. We go from the fermenter to the keg. It's really the same thing. That's why one of the reasons we love that system so much is that we don't ever put any oxygen in anything, because it's everything. Well, I should say, of course, you want to purge your keg with oxygen, the keg that you're putting it in first. But as long as you do that, there's no oxygen that you're dealing with.
That's right. And Alex, thank you for submitting that question. Before I wrap it up, I forgot to tell y'all, I think I sent y'all the photo. Anvil, the Fermenter King, the 15.8 gallon, arrived on my doorstep. I thought I gave him your address. I'm kind of glad I gave him my address. So it it came straight to my house. Speaking of pressure, I don't know if I want to do pressure fermentation at first or if I want to just do a hot fermentation in the garage since it is 103. No, right now it says it's 100 here in San Marcos on my.
Yeah, but dude, it's going to be 130 in your garage though.
Yeah, well, I don't know, man. It's pretty well insulated. I'm thinking about doing a hot, like we had Imperial send us some of their Loki because we're thinking, spoiler alert, about doing a maybe either pseudo lager or some kind of Kvite recipe for July. And so we're going to be playing around with the Loki. And also our buddy, Jonathan, he was on the show before talking about pressure fermenting and all that. He wants to come down to Comanche and do some filming and some how-to stuff on pressure fermenting and this kind of stuff. So exciting
That'd
things.
be cool.
It wouldn't it? Yeah. He wants to come as at the end of the month. So I'm coordinating with him on having him meet us at the office and or maybe the barn for filming some stuff on pressure fermentation. So I guess if I don't use the fermenter cane sooner than later, I have to bring it up there for the filming. So maybe
this month.
Yeah, the end of June.
I won't be here.
Where are you going to be at the end of June? June 28th is what the date
we
he's
just
throwing
talked
out.
about it yesterday.
Oh crap! Well, you won't be here.
It's on my calendar.
It is on your calendar. Well, you don't have to be.
You got that reunion in it.
Yeah,
my wife's kind of memorial.
See, but I thought you weren't.
Aunt,
and I thought you weren't leaving though till the Wednesday of that week. I was talking about the Tuesday of that week.
Oh, you said end. I didn't.
Yeah,
know.
sorry.
Okay.
I that's why the 28th is that.
Yeah,
Tuesday.
that would work.
Yeah. Okay. We'll make it work. And he watches the show, and he actually messaged me in the middle of this going, "Hey, are we still good for the 28th?" And I was going to tell him, "Let me ask Mr. Burns," but that solves that.
Yeah, that'll work. 28th will work.
Perfect. All right. Anyways, guys, that's all the questions I have for this week. I appreciate y'all's time carving it out for me on this beautiful Thursday, this hot Thursday. And I think I'm coming up at some point next week too. So I will see you guys soon.
See ya.
And
Bye-bye.
that will do it for this episode of the Homebrew Happy Hour. If you have a question you'd like us to discuss on a future episode, go to homebrewhappyhour.com and click on that submit a question link at the top of the page, or be Todd's best friend and leave a voicemail to 325-305-6107. Brew better beer with the new Grainfather G40 all-in-one electric system, available now at grainfather.com. Also, get a pack of Imperial yeast along with our delicious recipes when you join the Chub Club. Go to patreon.com/homebrew happy hour and come brew with us. On behalf of Todd Burns, James Carlson, and the Pearl Media Network, I'm Joshua Stubing. Thanks for listening.